Here we go. So let's begin with finding our seat, the bottommost part of our pelvis, and also finding the crown, the topmost part of our head space. And we can find them simultaneously by inhaling into the center of heart and spreading that vertically, both up, down, we're going to maintain this connection to our core today. It'll connect us into every pose and help draw and interconnect the energies from all of these poses into our whole body. That is the hope. So let's start with a chest opener right here in this cross-legged position. I'll go right hand down, inhale the left arm kind of out at an angle. Not entirely vertical, and splaying the hand bones. And then as I'm exhaling, I'm just going to kind of arch the chest forward as I gently draw the arms into that space behind me. And just find that right placement for the head so it actually feels disentangling. It feels soothing, opening. I'm engaging quite a bit of back muscles as I'm pulling my arms like pinky toward pinky. And inhaling, lower the left hand, come upright. Relaxing the arms just down beside you. Inhale into the upper back. Do a little shoulder shrug in between. And then gathering up the tops of the shoulders, kind of near the top of the shoulder blade. Exhale, keep gathering blade toward blade. And drawing down. And then a release, inhale. And the middle parts of the blades, gathering, exhales, gather, draw down. Now here, as we're inhaling, as we're releasing the shoulder blades, that's a move too. So as I'm inhaling, focus and feel the release around the back of the heart, the softening. You can feel the precise way that the back of the heart kind of opens and receives breaths. The bottom tips, mid-back. Gathering the bottom tips of the blades together, gathering, kind of dense, drawing it down. And again, as I'm inhaling, you can feel the precise way that that gathering ungathers. All of that gathering re-expands. Set the left hand down, draw the right arm up. Exhaling, chest opener. Kind of moving the chest into this space out in front of me. As I'm moving the pinkies into the space behind me. The left hand is directly to the side of your hip. And release. Inhale, bring the right hand down, bring the trunk upright. Okay. So just as we go along today, ensure that you have some cushion like a blanket, and a block, and a strap. We have all those things. Great. Let's lie down. We're going to work a frog lifting through. So we move to our back, separating our legs widely as the knees are bent. It's kind of angular and apart condition. Inhale with the hands behind the head, elevate head and shoulders. So engaging this entire front line, the neck, the abdominals, all of this kind of places the low back closer to the ground. Exhaling, the tailbone shifts toward the mouth. Reach the thigh bones gently outward, opening up the feet, the foot bone. Draw the low belly down. Inhaling into the low belly. To lift the chin, to lift the chest is to help the back feel the ground or get nearer to the ground. We're doing that for the abdominal pressure. Exhale, tailbone toward lips, sinking the low belly down. We'll do 4 more, inhaling. There's a little gap of space between the low back and the ground. But as we do this, it's minimal. It's kept minimal during this whole sequence of events because we're keeping our head elevated. Our collarbones are lifted a little bit away from the ground. It's a very strong way to feel breath in the low belly and the waist, between the hip bones, in front of the sacrum and the low back. It's a very strong way. And this way, the breath can help to contact and help us feel all through the hips, the back, the groin, right? In one sense, to feel is to heal. What doesn't get felt, what doesn't get experienced, can remain an object, a a hidden object, a repressed object, a great. And we'll do one more. Straddle lifting through. Now, if you need to bend the knees slightly and make this kind of similar to the frog we just did, that's perfectly fine. So we'll bring the legs up one more time. And we'll set them apart. Again, the leg placement is helping me educate my back on how to be aligned with my shoulder blades, with my heart. The part of my leg placement is educating my abs. Inhaling, elevate the face, the collarbones just a little bit. Feeling breath expand through the back. Exhale. Tailbone shifts toward the nose. Legs start to outreach, starting to engage those leg muscles. Splaying the feet, and the muscles therein. Sink the low belly in. All right, softening the belly a little bit. Inhaling, accommodating breath. I'm not letting go of my abdominals completely. So I'm still lifting up. Exhale. Tailbone can shift toward the nose. It's slight. It's very, very slight. Legs can reach outward. And sinking the low belly in. Inhaling into the low belly. And then exhaling. Let's do 3 more. We'll do these at our own pace. Strain free. Again, I think it's more important to approach this with interest in our own indwelling. How can I dwell in my hips, genitals, my belly, my back, my colon? And how hard can I do these, or how quickly can I do these? And then we'll set up for bridge. Have a block nearby, because we will get into that hip release move. And we'll want some support for that, probably. So with fingertips touching heels, inhale. And exhaling, shift the tailbone toward the sky. The pelvis moves toward the sky. The backside of the pelvis, the butt muscles are engaged. And with access to a full, deep, feeling breath. If I'm clenching my buttock muscles such that my genitals and my hip sockets are being clenched, breath may feel scant in the hips and the pelvic floor. So kind of finessing this a little bit, engaging the big butt muscles, but I can still get breath access into the space of the pelvis. All right, if you're using a block, now's a good time to slip it underneath the sacrum. Ensure that the backs of the shoulders are helping out with this weight, not the head, the back of the head. And keeping the left foot planted. Inhale, pick the right ankle, place it over the left knee. We have this figure 4 shape, foot flexed. And if you need your hand to guide breath in to the right hip, go ahead, use your hand, place it on the right hip. And we'll switch sides, setting the right foot down. And bringing the left ankle across the right knee. Flexing the foot. Need hands, use hands. The touch of hands on hips can help us guide and, again, feel the breath in and about the pelvis. Keep working that inner edge of the right foot. There's weight in that inner right foot. And we'll release. Place the left foot down. We'll lift away from that block and lower out of bridge. All right. We'll turn to a side for dolphin. Let's get all the big areas warmed up, the shoulders, the hips. And we'll get our dolphin set up, elbows under shoulders. Inhale, feeling the nature of the back of the heart today. Allowing the back of the neck to unguard the back of the heart. Just relaxing it. And then exhaling the knees off the ground. Dolphin. And just from the perspective of warming the physical body, warming the structure of the body, and getting a little bit of energetic movement through the arms and the chest and the back. Here's some of what we can do to facilitate that. One is not collapsing. So finding those moments of float, those moments of space in and about the shoulder joint. 2 is feeling and pressing all the way through the arms. Don't just stop at the elbows. Keep feeling and pressing all the way to the fingertips, opening up the hands, going all the way to the fingertips. And of course, as always, keeping that steady Ujjayi breath, not panting, not sighing, not letting off the breath quickly. In fact, kind of preserving the length and the slowness and the patience of each breath is a thermal developer. And then we can add one more. So if you're having a level 2 day, how do I use this breath and these poses to warm and start to quite physically and literally change the cellular matrix? How do I get this warmth to encourage flowing fluidic tissues? Is go strong, engage, and go long. So we're working, but over a much larger sense of space, a much larger sense of distance. So we can do this by sending the sit bones away from the head, just perceiving more and more length as the legs work very strongly. Feeling the heels sink away from the sit bones. Legs working strong, long. There you go. Just 2 deep breaths, letting that warmth kind of build up, letting that breath reach the chest, the upper back. We want that. That is desirable for our work. Okay, this is a crucible. This is a kind of a crucible-like arena. Okay, we are trying to cultivate and gather certain elements, certain properties. All right, then release. We'll set the knees down, and we're going to move directly into downward dog. So inhale, slip the hands under the shoulders, and then exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward, lunge. You might want some padding for your lunge. I'm just backing up slightly, hips back, I should say. Right hand on right thigh, left hand grab left foot, heel to butt lunge. If your tissues aren't feeling warm or warming or warmer, just go much more gradually. The difference that heat makes in our cellular matrix, it's pretty big. So it's like we need to know how to move when we're cold, and we need to know how to move when we're warm and warmer. Okay, release. So set that left knee down to the ground, curling the toes under. Then on exhale, we'll press back into warrior 1. So I don't mind about the left heel being up or down. I would rather you configure pelvis basically oriented straight ahead, Minimal twisting in the low back. Interlace hands behind back. And then inhaling, arcing the chest both forward to the horizon and up into the sky. And then exhaling, reaching through those legs. Tailbone sinks downward. And we release hands. Let them go all the way. Let them go all the way down. Inhale, draw the left arm up for twisting warrior. Exhale, left elbow over right thigh. And in our twisting warrior, use the strength of the arms as you're kind of pulling that left arm back against the thigh. Arc the chest toward the thumbs. A little bit of chest opener. So opening the chest will free up that bottom shoulder. So if you're just kind of lying on the left arm and lying on the left shoulder, being active through that left shoulder, expressing that arcing and that forward movement through the chest will lighten up that left shoulder. Inhaling, unwind, set hands down. Exhaling, step back. Lowering belly to earth. Cobra, inhale. Exhaling, lower downward dog. Here's that lunge. Other side. Inhale, left foot forward. Doing that with a relaxed neck. Now do pad the knee. And if we allow our eyes to just be basically on the horizon, the back of the neck can be soft, vertical, and keep our head aligned over our tail, and start to breathe in and through the core. It's that, again, it's another kind of a gathering. It's a subtler gathering. Our awareness could really take on any configuration. But I think the finding one's core, feeling one's body, feeling one's center, feeling one's core is a really important practice for us. Because it helps us to continually include the body. So necessary to keep including the wisdom of the body. Right hand grab right foot, heel to butt lunge. Yeah, so I can feel the tendency, right, to kind of converge down on the lunge sensations, right, that convergence and Keep lightening up, especially that back of head. Feeling space between the cusps of the teeth. Using the strength of the leg to stay light through the hip. There. And as you're getting that lightness of hip, note how much softer you can be in the belly. You don't have to grind down on your digestive organs. Yeah. Release the right foot down to the ground, inhaling. Go hands down, curl the back toes under. And exhaling, press the knee off the ground, entering warrior one. We'll come upright. Interlace the hands, behind back. Inhaling the chest toward the horizon, toward the sky. Favoring neither. Exhaling, the knuckles can sink toward the earth. The legs, it's almost like roots in mud legs. Sink softly from the pelvis into the earth. There it is. Letting that breath connect us from tail to heart, from tail to brain. So the stance just helps alert us. Legs here. And when we release the arms, inhale is let the hands go, let the arms go. Draw the right arm up, twisting warrior. Exhale the right elbow over the left thigh. That right hand can make a fist, and that left hand can press against that. And release. Inhaling. Hands under shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Chaturanga. Stepping all the way back, lowering. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. All right. So potential use of block as we inhale the right foot forward, half moon. So the right hand is set outside and in front of the right foot. Get a little double dose this weekend. Triple dose. Lots of half moon in our life. So heel, the foot is about hip height. And once again, I can use left hand on my hip, waist area. And not only am I guiding breath, like letting it descend and spread into the waist and the hip, but also, same time, breath expands the chest toward the horizon. There you go. That's it. Yeah, let that breath kind of open and spread us all across that horizon. That outer right hip is working strongly, pushing the earth. Drawing that left hip back. There's a lot of outer hip work here. So press through those legs, find those muscles. We're here in half moon to find the big engine muscles of the hips. So push, reach, press to engage the butt and the leg muscles. Some of us might find it's a little stretchier in the groin, I get it. Some of us may find it's very engaging in the glute and the butt. But use this pose to engage the muscles of the legs. Strong, and then getting steady, go long. All right, inhaling, set the left foot down about 4 feet behind us. We're setting up a warrior two stance. And we'll set our hands down. Just place them down on the ground. Any place is great. Okay. Right hand to right thigh. I'm going to keep my torso right in between my legs. I'm not going to arc my chest. I'm just going to keep my torso in between my legs. Inhaling, feeling breath reaching the pelvic floor. And then exhaling, send vibrant legs outward. That right hand is just there as a little coach, a little nudge. You can feel the lengthiness of torso kind of lifting away from the pelvis. Let this be a spine-freeing event. All right, release. Now set the hands back down. Walk or place the left knee down to the ground. Let's get some padding while we're here also. So now that chest opening move, I either go left hand grab left foot or both hands grab left foot. Now this time the foot moves the hands away from the brain. And just starting to wash the core with breath. So the energy of each one of these poses finds core, that major channel. The core is adequate to work with and handle the energies of our body, our life events, our poses. Okay. So it's nice to have that practice of feeling something going and dwelling in the core. Release. We'll set that left foot down. Here we go, pigeon. Walk the right foot across. Lie the right leg down. Leave the right hand on the ground for a moment. Left hand, find left foot. And we fold forward. Fold to the right forearm. So, kind of procedurally, I stay up, I get my foot, then I fold back down. The left knee remains directly behind my left hip. If it's scooted out to the side, please reset. Usually about 20% of us will have that knee scoot out to the side, or at least 20% of us, so there might be one or a few of us. It is important to know what goes on behind us, behind our backs. And release. Inhaling, set that left foot down, hands under shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, half moon. So you know where we're going. We need these muscles, right? Again, here's that warming. I engage the musculature. I perceive for how to engage that over a lot of space. Remain connected to Ujjayi breath. All of these things in sum will start to help us change the kind of the nature of the cellular matrix. Helps us develop energy resources. This is a wonderful practice for just that kind of that baseline of putting lots of work on the oxygen system, on the oxygen part of our metabolism. We put a lot of work on oxygen. Strong and long. There you go. Good. And can you feel breath reaching both the right hip and lifting the chest forward toward the horizon? Listen to that Ujjayi breath. Listen, listen. Inhaling, we're setting the right foot down about 4 feet behind us. We got like a warrior 2. If I'm not mistaken, we're going hands, left hand on left thigh and right hand in front of right hip. Okay? I'm going to maintain torso right between the legs. So I'm almost working this a little bit like it's like a straddling move, a decompressive move for the spine. So as I kind of post through my hands, light on the left, letting my sit bones reach away from my head, letting my spine traction away from the sit bones. The legs are working vibrantly in their respective directions, to the left, to the right of my head. Huh? There you go. Mm-hmm. And when we release, inhale, we'll walk the hands left, setting right knee down, extra padding. And here's that chest opening lunge. Right hand, grab right foot, or both hands grab right foot. Good. So as you're finding core, as you're kind of regathering, finding, feeling breath in and through the core, can you discover pelvis all the way to brain? You know, a lot of us can get from the pelvis to about the chest level, but also wash that through the brain, lighten up through the neck, washing that through the brain. Part of what's registering these new energetic configurations is the sensory area of our brain, the back of our brain. The deeply limbic, the survival, the novelty receiving area of the brain. Okay, let's set that right foot down. Now, pigeon, we'll walk that left foot down to the ground. Ensure right knee is directly behind right hip. Kind of stay posted up. Right hand grab right foot. And then fold. Fold to left forearm. So the top of my right thigh, the top of my right thigh is on the ground. Let the back of the brain be free. It's very kind of open, however you perceive openness, softness. The quality, the texture that allows the conductance of communication. So you can start to kind of meditate on what is the quality of structure that best communicates through the body. What would that feel like? What would nerve channels feel like when they conduct information most accurately and fully? And then you can feel for bringing your tissues into that kind of environment. Maybe there's warming and softening, or maybe there's firming and protecting. Reset the right foot down, inhaling, hands under shoulders, exhaling, downward dog. Set the knees down. Let's have a seat. We'll take a visit of shoelace. I'm going to go right ankle atop left knee. Okay. We'll be doing a twisting, a side bend that ends up twisting toward the foot. So let's go left hand to the ground. Inhale the right arm up. And then exhaling with side bending to our left. So if you have some back delicate set of conditions today. You might just want to stay with side bend. If it feels prudent or interesting, reach the right arm over the right foot. And you might connect either the elbow or the armpit to the right foot. And then with the hands on the ground, inhale, keep lengthening through the guts. Again, so there's no compressing down on the organs. So finding out what are these shapes and what are these configurations and states of tissue where my body is the best communicator to my body. Right? So openness, taking the compressive nature and compressive forces away, even if momentarily. Finding openness. Breathing in those places that feel a little bit charged or snuggly. And inhaling, unwind. We'll switch sides. You know, it's that wonderful, funny occurrences that seem to happen in yoga and our meditation practice. Just as soon as we try something out on our body, it's really fascinating to just note how all of our relations and other events kind of slip into other places. So go right hand down, inhale, the left arm up. It's the example that came to mind. It was like, for an example, when my body communicates well with my body. My organs can speak to my brain well, when my brain can organize and synthesize well. It's really amazing how communications with others start to shift. So it's a beautiful bit of work that we could always be doing the experiment in our own laboratory before we take it out and ask of others. It's a really wonderful way to work with projection too. So as soon as I can identify, I'm usually really good at identifying it in another. Hey, your communication skills XYZ, and then you just kind of pause a moment and go, okay, how do I start to work that in and on my body, right? So inhaling, let's come upright. We'll unwind, Shavasana. The other thing I find compatibly beautiful in all of this energetic work, this energy medicine, and all of this, really, there are a lot of psychological, Western psychology components here, is that when we're doing the energy work, reclaiming the energy, working with cultivating our breath, our awareness, often and simultaneously we're doing the projection work, owning, taking back projections. We find that projection is energy. How we project is part of a fluid energy system, or part of an energy system that locks things into a fixity. Right? Right, so if I know you to be this kind of a person, my mind has to fix. In order to hold that view, I have to become that fixity, that unmovingness. It's really beautifully compatible to do energy work, is to reclaim our projections, our energy. And these final couple of breaths, it's drawing that breath through the core, and let that breath through core promote and help us remember a brilliance. Because this is all life force. We're all working with life force. So the brilliance of understanding our anger and our sadness is not that we just feel anger and sadness better, but it's getting to the life force, the energy, the juice, the life force that it is. We get to feel that once again in and through our body. And it's brilliant. When it's freely moving, it's brilliant. Let it brighten up the brain. Let it glow in the heart. Let it pulsate in the gut and the pelvis. And now, bend knees. Turn to a side. And press to seated. All right, day. Namaste.